Thank you, finally. So we say good evening again. We just go to our first slides. Here we are. So I'm only talking a little bit. As I've said to you before, I don't actually make the clothes I design. Many other people do. And the purpose of these two classes, one today and one in 2 weeks, probably, I will do the other class next week, is for you to understand how a costume is made, what are patterns, in order to either be able to make something if you already have some knowledge, or most importantly, to be able to work with somebody else who will be making something you designed. So I give the floor, the stage and everything to Maria, and we continue.
Hello. To understand the importance of the pattern making, it's necessary to create a cloth. It's necessary to learn the term and use in pattern making to explore the different types of pattern makings. First of all, let's understand what is pattern making. Pattern making is a technique. It's use the manipulation of shape of a flat piece of fabric to fit to the curve of a body. It involves creating pattern blocks using body measurement. We can say it's a bridge between the design and the final product. It's essentially transform the sketch to a garment. Yes.
Yeah, okay. You tell me to change. Should I
Yes.
change? Perfect. Sorry, we're trying to coordinate here, so it's okay. Sorry, because we can't see the whole screen. Let's see. Oh, are you here? I'll go back. Sorry, guys. Okay. All right. Okay, so we've said this, so we're here. Great.
But using the picture, the fabric, to create this shape of sleeve. 1 dimension, 3 dimension. Pattern making ball create blocks. Blocks is the basic pattern we use to create a final pattern.
And in English, it's many times we have no idea what we say, because in Greece we say ovaskoskeletos. So in your language, you either use English or French terms. It's a bit hard with the glossary. Like in Greek, all the dressmakers, they use the French glossary more. They have made it Greek, but they use the French. So sometimes for us here, the English is a bit, a knowledge language that we don't know. So we search.
You see a sketch and become a dress. 1 dimension, 3 dimension. That's a technique. It's happening with a draft, gather, plate, or use of all of them together. You will see how the patterns have transformed and make and fit to the curves of the body.
And also here, because pleats are very important to theater, as you know, what you're seeing here, if you have idea of making something or not have an idea, is that, oh, this looks interesting. And if I make a theater costume, because we are probably showing you some fashion things, it's like, okay, how can I make it if I needed for a theater character? So this is what you need to focus upon.
Okay, let's see the method of pattern making. First one is draping. It's a hard one. It's a demand skills, knowledge, fabric, demand a lot of things, not for a beginner center. And then it's drafting and flat pattern making.
On paper, right?
Yes, on paper.
Like architectural drawings, here we have clothes.
Draping, it starts with a fabric on a body, on a doll.
On a doll,
Yes.
moulage κιόλας, in moulage.
Moulage.
Yeah, in Greek we say moulage.
Yes, and then to transfer to paper and then make the final pattern. Drafting start with measurement to transfer to the paper. Let's see what's needed to create a costume for theater. There are many steps. First step is script analysis.
Mm. So each one we will go through, okay? So this is for you later also, but we will go through each one.
Script analysis. Read the script, of course, to know the character, all of that. Then characters analysis. Analyze the character to understand the personality, status, and development through the play. It's important. Then it's research. The second step. It must be done in historical and cultural research for the time period, for the context of the play, to ensure that it's accurate. Accuracy, and then visual references. It's very
Visual reference, yeah. You know, research, I've been saying it, you know, you have 3 small projects that were only writing and research. Why? Because even if you're making a costume, you need research. I mean, in Greece, what we show you here, just see this thing here. It's not so big, you'll see it later. But for a dress, you might want to keep these details for each character. The same we're doing to design. Here, you're doing practical work. So you need to know the actor, how tall, his height, his all his sizes, his shoes, everything. So you need something like this. So probably this is from something much larger, maybe a film, maybe a commercial theater. But anyway, the work is the same, whether it's stage. You talked about stage management the other day, whether it's costume management, whether somebody's actually making the actual thing, the accessories. You need to be so specific. So you will have to, yeah, your visual references. Here you can see, unfortunately, some pictures, it's not so easy. We have many links for you to find things, but here you can see a pattern. Here you can see the dress. There's not so many. There are books. Books are a bit valuable and you can't find them. We found many for you, and it's amazing that you can find all the actual patterns. But visual and visual and visual, what can we do? I mean, if we don't see the paintings and the and whatever else there's up there, we have no chances to make a costume.
Design concept. It's the collaboration between director, meeting, to ensure that the designs
Collide. Okay, costume align. Yeah, they're in the same idea. Same idea in general with the production. Okay.
Then design the sketch. And then color palette.
Yeah.
Yes, because color has much.
Yeah, it's important. And then some, you know, some of you draw a lot. So yes, great. Because I went through drawing and learned construction a bit later. If you know a bit construction, you might alter, change your drawings. So if you have an idea of how to make the costume, maybe then your drawings are going to be a bit more technical for the person that's going to make it. Here we are.
Budgeting and planning.
Ah, for small theaters.
Okay, yes. Costume clothes. For its character, costume for every scene. Okay, budget. Develop a budget for material expense relative to costume creation. Material sourcing. Identify the source of fabric and material that are needed. 5. Pattern making and draping. First step, it's measurement. Take the detailed measurement of the actors. Then make the pattern based on the design and on the sketch. And then sometimes draping to create more volume. Shape. You can shape if you have the skill to do it, or the knowledge, or you want something different that can not be created with a flat pattern.
And also remember that in many countries, depending on your education, I mean, in more like in England, where the education is quite strict in costume set designers, they require costume designers to be able to make the clothes. It's not always the case. I mean, depending on country, usually it's not the case. But this means that you are able to find something, design something, you know, that if you have a huge skirt, you might need 6 meters of fabric. If you have a huge balloon sleeve and more, maybe, yes. You need to know, okay, you might have the perfect sketch if you draw and you're a painter, but maybe sometimes for theater, maybe it's not possible to make. And we're being practical here after so many years, but also history of fashion is one thing, and how the costumes used to be, we've seen them, you can search them, okay, great. Can a person wear it and play in a play? Okay, it's not a fashion show. They will not walk for 2 hours. They need to play for 3 months. Can they actually move in this? So there's no case that the actual historic, let's say accurate, difficult, whatever you want, costume is the same for theater. No, theater costume is quite unique. Goes with the actor probably first. We've experienced it firsthand here.
Fabrication. Fold, cutting, sewing, fitting.
Sorry, I'm really sorry here. Yes.
No.
Sometimes, sorry, if it's not, there we are.
There's 7. Final touch.
This means we made it, actually. We made it. And then
we made it, and then let's go find accessory to create hats, to create the whole
idea of it. Remember the first presentation when we said, oh, what does a costume designer? We're talking theater all the time. What do we do? Yes, great. Let's go back. We make it as a normal cloth. Okay, we are up there and we fit it and it's okay. And then in theater, there are things you have to be a true artist. So what if you need to make clothes that are dirty? What if you need to make clothes that are look old or something? Far away from fashion, far. The more you know about making things, the more able you will actually be to create a costume.
Fitting. Of course, adjustment if needed.
Usually, this is theater management, but we've been it through here with Maria 1 or 2 times. You actually think that the costume is finished. So the actors do this wonderful final fitting because they need to take pictures, let's say, because it's like 2 weeks before the opening. And then you decide that this costume is too hard, too soft, too long. It doesn't turn, it's not useful, it doesn't have a movement. You want to throw it out and make a new one. I don't wish this for you. But the faster you actually, put something on an actor to be able to move, we've talked about this a lot. It's very important. So this is again part of your making. Great.
The last one is a care instruction and repair. It's instruction to the actor to
whoever takes care of them, the designer,
maybe, but it's a last step.
So I think that you said some things about fabric in your other class, probably with parents, but in theater, let's say we're talking about a realistic, let's say a medium theater, let's say 5-10 actors, a performance, somebody made the costumes, they're there. In our theater, I don't let other people take care of the costume many times unless I've tested. So this is a thing, great. You design the costume or you make it. You actually make it or somebody else actually makes it. A good and bad thing together is that many of your material right now is synthetic. What is the good about it? Meaning you can wash it or throw it in the washing machine and it will be okay. But if the material is natural, cotton, wool, whatever, anything, if you have if you actually make things for some theaters, you will make a rule for yourself. I wash all the fabrics. The dressmakers don't like that because when you buy a nice and new fabric, it's all flat, nice. You can put your measurements, you can put it in the machine and you're really happy. Yeah, great. If it goes into the washing machine, it's going to be crooked. And then you will spend half an hour ironing it. Yes, but you are safer. And this is not Hollywood, because as I told you once, Hollywood has 4 sets of costumes for each play. They cannot lose money. In theaters, we are happy if some, shirt for some reason is, we had this performance has blood on it in every performance. It's fake blood. Okay, you wash it, great, but it might not dry. Very nice. Maybe we have 2 or 3 shirts for the lead actor, but this is the more we can do, management wise, financially wise. So you might think, oh great, why are we talking here about care instruction? Because even if a play performs for 2-3 months, you will need either the designer will take care of it or somebody at the theater, you have to train them. So it's funny maybe sometimes that we talk about it, but believe us, it's really very essential. Oh, sorry, are we sure? Yes, we are here. Great. So yeah, history of pattern making.
Okay. Primary, the garment was not to cover the body, was to cover the body, rather than fit perfectly. You will see in ancient Greek and late medieval period, clothing was created from piece of fabric, draped in folds around the body. That wasn't necessary pattern making for that kind of clothes. Then In 15th century, practice of cutting the fabric to fit to a body became more fashion. This process was time-consuming and expensive. The first known pattern in Spain, it's in a book in 1589.
Yes, as I think we've said a bit before that until then, I mean, everybody made their own clothes, right? So we needed money. So somebody that had more money, so upper classes, maybe would have somebody else. And then somebody, probably an architect or something, somebody was able to design some clothes. And I think by about here, yeah, Renaissance, let's say, it's the first time that we can actually think, I think a bit later, there were some magazines with designs, but then somebody, so what happened? They had more material. So commerce was a lot. So they had more material. We're still talking, unfortunately, for Central Europe, but this is everywhere. So if there's more material and more goods going around, if there are people traveling, so then this is how everything goes, from costumes, textiles, I don't know, fashion, food, everything. That's the only way we started saying, okay, let's not wear the same thing. Okay, we have money to buy really nice textiles. Let's make more. There we are.
18th century. It started to appear some books for home dressmaker that have a full-size pattern, and magazine and profession and others.
That's where it started. And I think you have to think, like, if we're talking Europe, it's probably a revolution, 19th century, it's probably to 20th. Yeah, the revolution, it will reach there to have something like what you're seeing. You see, even these pictures you can't really find them. There are some books, but they're very, very rare and yellow, as you can see. But it's interesting. This is English magazine, so probably it's 20th. Yeah, so we're gonna show you, and we fortunately found links because about 25 years ago, the thing is we can't see ourselves a bit here. Let's see. Here we are. We can't really see ourselves, but these are patterns. Okay, we have the links for this. We found them on PDF. So because we did Renaissance a bit, but just have a look. What does this mean? This is a work that happened now, okay? They did not exist in Renaissance. So actually, there's this wonderful lady and dressmaker. She took, we have the name later for you and the links. She took all the real costumes from Victoria Albert Museum in England that are 16th century, 15th century. And what did she do? She do all the work backwards. She said, okay, here I have the costume, and I went back to see how it's made. All the patterns, 3D drawings. So it's something that we are more focusing on now. I'm gonna put this away because it's driving us crazy. Okay, great. And let's move. Okay. Sorry. Yes. Industrial evolution. That's what we said. This is the big, really, I think this is the big change. Yeah.
Change the textile industry, change machines, change everything.
It's changed everything.
Yes.
Yeah. Could make faster, right?
Yes.
More costumes, faster also.
Less expensive. a lot of things.
This is something that you actually know, Aurea. Yeah. Okay. So pattern making.
Pattern making. It's a shape of a garment on a paper. It's used for as a guide for dressmaking. Okay. We can say this is a blueprint of a garment. Okay. Importance of the pattern, efficiency, design translation, customization, quality control, time saving, to fit the industrial standard, training and skill development. In summary, let's say that pattern making is vital for high quality and well-fitted garments.
And it's all made by machines now in Europe and many other big countries. But here we always start at the beginning, and that, you know, in other countries, in Africa, that they still design and make directly. We've seen them up close, actually, creating. Okay.
Methods pattern made. Okay, draping, drafting, flat pattern making, and some other way or method in knock-off. Αντιγραφή το λέμε στην Ελλάδα. Knock-off, copy.
Works for theater and the commercial,
Yes.
the same. So I think you know
we will see all of them
later. Yeah, but let's say, because all our English is not our language, right? So you either what? Make it on the person, or many old dressmakers did that, especially for theater. Like they would do like 10 fittings on an actor, and actually moulage, draping on the body. Drafting, it means you design, of course, paper, you on the paper. This is, you have the pieces, right?
Yeah.
You already have the blocks and the pieces and the tools. Here, we do this a lot if it's something difficult and if we have many clothes. If we already have the clothes, we've done it many times, because we know that we have old clothes that have really difficult designs, and we are actually happy doing this. And there are many dressmakers, not all, that they can understand it. Like you see something, that how it is, and you can actually put it apart. And here, of course, you can find on internet also. Yeah, you can find everything on internet, but that's another. Here we are.
Let's say first stage, it's to create a flopper, block, foundation, basic pattern. Βασικό σκελετό το λέμε στην Ελλάδα. Okay. That's it's body fitting flopper without any seam allowance or detail. It's have nothing detailed, no design detail on it. It's fit like second it might be fit like second skin. Then, okay.
And remember, yeah, it says, right, it follows the natural lines. And also remember, you should, this is not fashion again. So try to remember, this is very hard in theater and you will learn it the bad way. You need to see how the actors are moving. Okay, I'm not talking even about dance. Dance is another difficult thing. I don't know if you ever do dance, that's another story. But so it says here that it follows the lines. It has to be quite loose. We usually have problems with actresses, especially. They think that a good costume needs to be really tight. No, it does not have to be tight. It will be ruined. So in a way, you create something that is very comfortable. So never, if you are from the fashion background, try to think very differently here. It's something that needs to move with you.
Second stage, working pattern, is the stage where all change made for the slope to become design. Is the state that you add similar allowances, wearing allowances, all this. And then then is the final pattern. That pattern includes information necessary for cutting and sewing. Let's see the stage. The first picture is a slope. The second is a working pattern, and the third is a pattern ready to cut with all information.
Yeah, and if this was industry, okay, they would just put all this really close together. But because you are doing tailor work and theater work, always think that you leave more space. You're making something with more peritorio, margins around. Yeah, but this is like this in industry, this they could make many things the same, right? Of this one or the, okay. So, πίσω πήγα ή μπροστά? Μπροστά, okay.
Okay. So let's see the information that are necessary for cutting and sewing. The final pattern must have the following aspect. Every piece for the garment. Not only the sleeve, you need the bodies, you need the everything, every part that are necessary. All the cut and sewn information. And all of this must be easy to understand, easy to read. Then, center front and center back. That's important. Name of each piece and label. The number of a piece to be cut. You need for 2 variants. Fold line, seam allowances, balance mark. To make sure, balance marks to make sure that it's someone's correct.
Like dotted, the
Yes,
dotted lines. Usually, if you're more patient, you might do a bit with pins or with a loose, with a looser, like you would do a fitting with a looser sewing. So anywhere you have problems for some reason, you can easily take it out. Because if it's finalized, like when it goes to a shop, I mean, there's nothing to be done there.
Construction line, dart, buttonhole, pocket placement, tag, pleat line, decorative stitch, all of that must be included in the final pattern. Let's say, and then grain lines. Στα ελληνικά το λέμε ίσιο.
Ίσιο, okay.
Πού πάει το ίσιο? Okay, it's a grain line. Okay, indicate how the pattern should be aligned to the fabric. Lengthwise. And then we have the grain lines arrow, indicating can be placed in either direction, an arrow on the top or the bottom indicate how it can be one direction only. Okay, and then we have the direction of the grain lines. Straight lines are parallel to the center to cut the straight grain. Ίσια κόντρα και lock shop in Greece.
We will say about that, yeah. Usually the designer has to decide that, okay?
Exactly, the pattern making.
The pattern making, but
Okay.
sometimes like in theater, That's the difference. Like you can buy a fabric that's for, industrial use, and they will say, okay, great, the satin part is the good part. But you are a designer, and for some crazy reason, you want the back of the fabric.
Okay.
So you start putting these arrows here, top, bottom, back, front. But I think even I don't make clothes. The first thing I learned is if it's straight the fabric or I don't know in English. If we have somebody that knows this thing in English, or you, το κάνουμε λοξό το ύφασμα. Anyway, we will show you this, the bias lines. Yeah, great. The 45 degrees, yeah. Usually many fabrics at 45 degrees are nicely, they're not make nicer pleats. I don't know what is our ideal materials right now. That's a big story to say. So we are talking to you today that we have our ideal materials. Thanks. There we are.
Straight grain. Okay. True bias, luxog, and cross grain. And the
the center.
The
center. Okay.
And okay, with the arrow.
The fold here. Yeah.
The straight grain line. Next. And then, after all of that, must have the pattern size or relevant details, like character name, and the right side, and the right side up for the asymmetric pattern.
Mm-hmm. I think we had a discussion at some point that if you're doing something that's difficult and something that is really, let's say you're very well because you designed it, where each is the back, the front, the top, the bottom, you will make a fitting and don't be sure that the actors know. So when I had difficult costumes, the one person had to dress the other, or I did something that was not very easy for them. It was good for the costume. I connected it in many ways that they just knew how to put it on, but we would be sure that it's there. Because they were moving so much and everything. And I really, at the beginning, I wasn't sure that it will be on what you design, what you made. So this should be always you're dressing live people that are going to be running up and down a stage for 2 hours. So I'm telling you, dance is another thing. So decide how you can help them so your costume looks really nice. Okay.
First method, draping. It's a three-dimension method. As we said before, it's a fabric. It's draped around directly on a dress base. Okay, based on the flat sketch. This method involves create basic bodies, skirt, dress. What else? That's most.
I think I showed you some skirts like that. We might make some videos for you.
It's made on a stand or a human body. Once the drape, the fabrics transfer to create the final pattern.
It's a bit down, yeah. But because here we are a variety of people, and most of us are quite creative and from other backgrounds, many times you can design something very nice, or I've had students that didn't design well, I have to tell you that, but they were really good with fabrics. So think of it as a sculpture. So this draping or moulage, it's a method. I mean, it's taught in Greece also. I mean, if you want to make clothes, you need a mannequin at your house. It's difficult to have another person to do that. But in all my other classes, we kind of, how you say, you can do different things. I mean, you can have a 3-meter fabric and you could be draping and you can be wrapping around. It's not going to be easy after that for somebody else to make it. But if you want creativity, I mean, your hands need to work with the fabrics. So this is really good. If you have no idea about fabrics, start now. Start from your clothes even.
Advanced.
Mhm.
It's allowed to the designer to see the 3D form of a garment. Creativity. It's a very creative method. You can, that's what you say, you can experimental to design everything you want on just putting the fabric there and try to manipulate to fit the design that you want. Precision. This method make the perfect fit. Disadvantage, time consuming. Okay, it's not easy. It's not it takes time to do that. It's second, skill level. Okay, you must have a good understanding of the fabric behavior and the draping techniques. It's not easy. It's
It has a very good result,
yes.
and it is unique usually.
It's very good.
It's theater. This is something you use a lot in theater many times if you have a help of a dressmaker. But this is something that they might use a lot, like in wedding gowns, that they do a lot of draping there.
Yes.
Because they have different body types. And you have to remember that draping in different body types, sizes, how tall is somebody, how small, how big, I think draping might work quite well.
Also material for draping. Okay. A human body or a stand or what? Someone or something. Pins and needles, fabric, scissor or fabric scissor. Okay. And then marking tool to mark or pencil, black, or even fabric. Usually we use a cheap fabric for draping and measuring tape. That's it. Okay, drafting is the second method. Drafting is the technique that we use to create the basic blocks by taking measurement for the sizing system or a person or a form or a model to transfer into a paper by using tool. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, this process is the form and foundation of basic for design. Block pattern or full slope.
Mhm. Yeah.
Include the front and the back of bodice block, the front and the back of skirt block, a sleeve block, and sometimes a pant block.
Yeah, but I mean, block in this wonderful English language, okay? It's the basic, the basic, the first, let's say basic, something that you know. Okay, block, anyway.
Okay. A basic sloper, half, no seam allowance. Okay, it has no design interesting, only construction line to mark on it, nothing else. Characteristics, say, okay.
Well, yeah, we just said.
Measurement for chest, waist, hip, and all other. Okay, drafting include minimum wearing say, but not design essay,
Mhm.
or similar or something else. The step, measurement, pattern drawing, pattern set creation. We will see in the next lesson step by step how we can create a slope block.
Mhm.
What? Advantage. Increase confidence and the skill. Fabric economy, creativity. Okay.
Reusable. Reusable is something like if you actually know how to make it, you already know. If you start making, it means that as it goes by, I mean, your experience, even now for me, 25 years in theater, I have kept most of the patterns, whatever I do. If I do a crazy sleeve or I do a crazy neckline or something, you use all these, you keep them. But especially in theater, every time it's unique. I don't think you will ever use something twice. So this will be like your personal archive. Disadvantage is the same again.
Okay, again, should I good
Ah.
result?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, if you have it already, you know the result. Eh?
Okay.
Great.
High cost, technical difficulty,
Mhm,
and time consuming.
mhm. I don't think dressmaking is not time consuming. I don't know. Yeah.
Especially for theater.
Especially for theater. Yeah, if it's something else, it's like, sorry, give us 1 second. I'm just trying to, great. Okay.
Okay, necessary tool for drafting. Okay, scales, L scale, French curve, pencil, paper, and scissor. Scissor for paper, not for fabric. Yes.
You need more rulers here, right? So
Yes.
you learn to do it like this. No, sorry. Okay. Okay, fine.
Okay, this technique, flat pattern making. Pattern making is the process by which a block or a sloper or a basic pattern develop in a flat surface into a swing pattern. These techniques allow designers to make block which may have drafted themselves or short may be found in a commercial swing pattern. Internet maybe there's a lot of way to find a slope.
If you search enough,
Yes,
you might find. I mean, we have some links, but
and then you come in this method, the flat pattern making, to create the design.
you must understand that all this is practical knowledge, right? So we're not talking here. Of course, there is creativity, but if you don't know how to make and you want to make it, I mean, somebody can teach you actually, and it's not least on the internet. I mean, not on a Zoom. You need a real person if you're interested, but it's a practical skill.
Yes.
You can acquire it. We strongly believe that. We have students at any age, I think.
Yes. With this method, you can produce a wide variety of garment style. Okay.
Yeah, see something basic here.
Yes. Pattern, how can I achieve pattern manipulation to alert the shape? Okay, it's a flat paper, must become a three-dimensional fabric garments that happen with draft, garret, and a pleat.
Mhm.
That's the
So
way.
all the lines, and I can tell you, I'm only seeing only what I've made, but you see that all the lines that you see in something that looks to you like a vest, it's a bodice, okay, let's say whatever you want. If you put it on a real person, you will need to adjust all these lines. So you will need to adjust on the body, depending what? On their back, on their chest, on their stomach. I mean, imagine this part of your body. Each of us is totally different. So all the lines you adjust actually. Όπα, σωστό.
Okay.
Δεν έχω κάνει κατοπίσιο.
Okay.
Great.
Okay. Let's say the pros of pattern making of this method for pattern making is precision and accuracy. It's efficient method. It's have a bit versatility and easy to use. The cons almost that's limited to the two-dimension, time-consuming, requires skill and training and knowledge. We maybe have some potential error, maybe. And it's difficult for with complex designs. It's not easy. Maybe draping it's more easy for some design. Okay. Yeah. Another way to have a pattern is the commercial pattern. Commercial patterns are full-scale tissue paper. You have seen probably Budra or something like that. It's used by the home maker to create to create garments. In theater, maybe if you can find a design that fit for the character, maybe can be used. Maybe it's an easy way to make the patterns. Skip that step. Don't have to make the pattern, just find it, cut the fabric and do the sewing.
They're still selling the old ones.
Yeah,
And they're not very extremely expensive.
No, you can find on the internet, you can print it, it's easy.
But even I've seen the papers, even they sell them, the parts of the magazines, at least in Europe or America. But anyway, if you're interested in all this is like a collection for you.
Okay.
The more you have, the more you make, you will start to understand. I mean, it's something, unfortunately, you need like an architectural or a mathematical eye if you've never made it. You can, I believe you can learn it, but you need to really, really like it.
Okay, some popular names for commercial pattern, it's Budra or Vogue, McCall's, it's all one. It's fine Pinterest. Battery, I think is the first one. You see a pattern of battery here.
I think Pinterest is the best place. For this, Pinterest is the best place.
Advantage, save time and energy. Pattern is available in a different figure. They have probably not always the commercial patterns have good fitting, probably. It's like to achieve a good fitting. The instructions are careful satisfaction for the garment. It contains all the necessary information to create the garment. Pattern can be used by an experienced dressmaker. For the starter, yes, you can use it for start. It's a easy way. They are expensive. Some, okay, some maybe it's expensive.
Okay, the more difficult probably ones or unique.
Not all available, and maybe not. Maybe you don't get the desired style design.
Also, you have to know that on Facebook, there are groups of dressmakers and designers. Usually it's America and Hollywood, doesn't matter. I follow some of them, and you have to see how amazing work they do, because many times they ask each other questions about patterns, fabrics, designs, or if they have to do something difficult for theater. And it's like communities, and people in the comments really help. I've learned things from there when I have time, but there's ways. There's people discussing even for costume patterns on Facebook.
Okay.
Perfect. The perfect one for me.
Okay, it's a taking pattern for existing garment. In Greek, αντιγραφή.
Copy.
Okay.
Copy, not copy paste. Copy anyway.
Copy. I have some link to see the process in the easy way.
We'll see the link here.
Yes.
So
it's simply place the it starts with place the clothing on a top of a piece of paper and trace the seam by poking pinhole or the tracing wheel or with a tracing wheel. The pinhole will mark the paper and then must stay involved to take the pattern for the existing garment.
give us 1 second. The Facebook, I have to find it. Yes, we will find it. Don't worry. I think it was costumers something. I will find it for you. In general, when we were in Rwanda last month with Maria, we had this strange discussion here in Europe. Personally, I collect clothes here at the theater. I didn't have to. It started in a way. People were giving old clothes. You know that the clothes of the 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, I mean, the older they go, they're very valuable, even if they are very simple clothes. And because we are living in the age of fast fashion and terrible fabrics, when you see an actual old garment, you are very interested in it. I think we have 1,000 costumes. I don't know, Maria. It took us months to put them together. Maybe we'll go and take a video for you. But because they are old, I mean, some of my students also from fashion school, they were like, I mean, great. Let me see them. Let me wear them. Let me see how the pleats are and how the garment falls. Because if you have something you want to actually copy, I mean, you have it there in front of you. I don't know this word, hoarding. So I was going to say that here in Europe, and after the last 10 years of the financial crisis, as you say, there's too many secondhand shops, vintage shops or whatever. They're not all cheap, but sometimes, even if you find something that's 10, 20 years old, like difficult things, as we say, like jackets or a specific dress or a specific bodice. Here we are a bit costume crazy. We love the garments. If I find them, I keep them. I take care of them. There's people throwing them out and they don't know their value. We went and visited when the partnership was here in Athens. We visited the National Theater and all the collection of the clothes, and we were amazed. It's always unique, okay? We are making theater things that are unique. But the conversation we had in Rwanda is that you don't have this thing in Africa. Like, you don't find older clothes unless some family had them or traveled or I don't know what. Let's see. You recommend? Okay, which outlet? Ah, in Athens. Yeah, we have outlets. Well, the thing is, in Athens now, there's two things going on. There's one huge American market in Athena, you probably say. It's not the cheaper one, but she's very well coordinated there. So if I need to find something difficult like men's jackets, I will go there. Or Dragana, hoarding, you mean secondhand? Είναι μόνο τα link.
Hoarding, I mean collecting too much things.
Too
Hoarding,
much
it's a
things.
term.
Oh, yes,
Yes,
yeah,
it's a phrase.
designer's problem.
Yes, it's a phrase.
I didn't have that, okay? I didn't have this thing 10 years ago.
Hoarder,
It started
hoarder,
by itself.
professional, Mark. Hoarder.
Yeah. The problem is that if you are in a medium theater business, okay, here we have a theater, or even if you are a designer, you just find yourself that if you come across like a really nice coat and the coat is 20, 30 euro, you're like, oh, I'll have it, you know, I'll buy it, I might use it. You may not. But anyway, yes, the last 10 years, I think here, too much. I mean, we have no more space, but you can be amazed of how a men's jacket, which is a difficult thing, is made today and how much work they put on it many years ago. It's really amazing. So many times if we have this access, it's straight. Some countries, especially Balkan countries, I think Poland also, I was there, so many vintage shops with really good things, difficult things, not when I mean good, I don't mean like an expensive fabric or like a huge dress or something. No, I mean some difficult clothes, because today you make clothes and you see they have no liner. Like many times they don't have a lining inside. They like to make things really fast. They get fabrics they don't even cut many times. So here, I mean, every time we're gonna put links for you, but we can go and visit one of those. But before this, we're not many here today, unfortunately. Let me come a bit this way. Sorry, we had you all in the sides all this time. So I know for some of you, but are you actually making costumes? Is it somebody that is actually making costumes? Or okay, you know, clothes, let's say. Mix of. What is the mix of? What do you do? Do you kind of alter? Yes, Anos, we know. Old and restore it. Yes, interesting. Yes, so if you make it for theater, it works sometimes. I think in Serbia you can find old clothes also. Mm-hmm. Oh, great. Great, Rose. Okay. So is the work connected to, let's say, theater or musical or something, or is it connected to fashion? Lots of outlet, yes. Okay. And I'm gonna ask Panos a question. Panos, when you first you wanted to make, I don't remember, τι ήταν αυτό, ancient Egypt. Τι ήταν, αρχαία Αιγυπτός, ήταν Egypt. You wanted to make a difficult dress, but before, had you learned how to make it ήξερες γραπτική μόνο σου, δεν θυμάμαι.
No, I didn't know about how to sew
You
something,
didn't.
but I know how my grandma told me how to knit and do
Yes.
like traditional thread work and beading. And I wanted to create a Mesopotamian one, but it was far too difficult for me to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Grandmothers are an essential asset, and we still have students that their families and grandmothers. I grew up in an environment that not the great aunt was actually making clothes. So I think my visual idea of making clothes. So it's a lot if you have somebody in the family. But as you know, we are back into making things, even for fashion. Theater requires it. I mean, if you see a theater performance, you instantly know that they just got whatever they found. Okay, how much good styling can you do? You need to make something. And if you want the play to be unique, you need to invest in the costumes and the stage. Maybe they need more time, but I mean, there's ways of investing. If you like it, this is, I always say it's like mathematics. I mean, you need to like it to understand it. The more you understand it, you can actually get all the information that we told you today. Let me see. Let's try. So this is the last page, right? Okay, let's see one more page, and then okay, great. This is the existing. Okay, I think we talked about this, but still, I mean, yeah. You're one step ahead. Yeah, we said more of it. It saves time. If you have a 20th century play and you're quite clever with what you find, the last years here on television, we had some things from we had some series that were in the 70s, 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and they could still find, sorry, I had no battery. They could still find things. And then I think they did really good research, and they were very clever in their styling, because styling is a terrible word. It's not used well. So they had great information, historical, theatrical. They researched as much as they could. And then, yes, they found ready things to wear. Why not? So they see it more. Okay, we have to see this. Let me see the chat first. Yeah, somebody. Okay, but if I know somebody's having problems with internet, we'll send you all this anyway. So yeah, this is a very nice design here, because we showed you this before.
It's the draft.
Mm-hmm.
You take the draft. It's the next lesson. We will see more.
Yes, I think I will. We're thinking here that we will have another class with Maria in 2 weeks, and then next week I'm gonna talk to you about forms from Rococo and going forward, in order to see more impressive theater costumes. And then we continue. We have 3 more classes actually. In general, we will see. We will manage, I think. And this I will send you today, please, the presentation. And great. This is for your, okay. Do a bit of work here with these links that we are sending you in these 2 last pages. I mean, here, let's have a look.
So knock off.
Nah, let me see if it will do this. Let's try, or I have to go with the share again. Let me see. Okay, are you seeing the connection, the internet? Πάνω το βλέπετε?
It's at the knockoff page.
Ωραία, του φαίνεται, έτσι, okay. Yeah, so this is one of the links. And there's a lot of info here. Let's see, 1 second. Yes. Okay, you see, you're just signing up. You can sign up if you want. Δεν χρειάζεται, okay. Close this. Yeah, it's okay. Just take one. This is the best key. Okay, let me get us out of that's our problem.
Can you send them this? Can you please send us these links in a
Yeah,
mail
yeah,
to all
these
the
are
students?
on these Dragana, they're
useful.
on the presentation. They are on the presentation, and I will send you all the presentation. So it's on there.
Thank you.
They're trying. I'm sorry, I didn't actually, yeah, it didn't actually like sign up for this. We're just so, and it's like a community also. Εδώ. Yeah. There's there's too much, as you know, advertisement, but there's a community. So if you're making things, you can actually, you know, have information and talk to other people. Yes. Your pins are your most valuable thing. Yeah. Yeah. But if you have access to theater clothes, to old clothes, you know, really see them up close. So the links are really very nice, new things. And we have more links for you. I'm going to close this. So let's.
This is for the
Okay, here we are. I stopped finally. Okay, great. So do you have any questions, any ideas, something you made?
I want to ask, can I ask?
Yes. Yes.
So, how in general, if I made in the past time collaboration with different small theaters, how to avoid as a costume designer, costumographer, we say here, how to avoid not to be paid, not to be paid. Do you understand? It always has to be signed on the paper, but you know they're avoiding when it's a small
Yes.
alternative theaters. This I heard from many other colleagues as well. They
I
get
think
abused,
this
not
is
paid.
a management question for everybody, but you know what? You can help 1 or 2 times, but you don't have to do it forever. So this is something you have to say it at the beginning. It doesn't matter what you sign or not sign. I mean, it has to be official. It's crazy. I mean, if you're part of a production, when you're younger, when you're a student, okay, you help. I think if you want to do theater, you need to be close to a designer. So the designer will be responsible for you, not the whole theater, not the director. So you need to be close to the designer as a second person, okay? If you're doing something by yourself, I mean, this is everywhere, Dragana. It's not you. It's everywhere. And they need you. They need all of us. And we need to do a proper discussion, let's say. We lost the chat. We'll find it. Great. We found it again. The pattern drafting books. We have the PDFs, huh?
Lesson.
In the next lesson, we have some.
We have some. We will make the basic part, basic blog step by step. You will see, and I will show you some books. I have 2 links for YouTube to see video how they it's made, and the next to have some idea. And then in the next lesson, we will see more
In detail, let's say.
in detail,
Yeah.
more in detail.
We'll find for you as many links as possible.
Then,
Sorry, there's one more. For
uh,
some reason, the letters are huge. Thank you, Yo-Yo. We thank you also. The thing is that if you're interested in clothes, be closer to them as much as possible. So 10 years before, not 10, maybe 5 years before I even knew I would do theater costume things, and I would tell everybody younger, I mean, can you work in a shop with clothes? Do it if you're not anywhere. Can you do something with your clothes that you already have? Do you have clothes from your family, from people that traveled? So many people are throwing out clothes. It's sad. They're throwing out clothes in Athens here, and I don't know where to pass, and I'm back with clothes. I mean, we will show you some things. But if you're interested in making them, just, you know, keep them close, even look at the ones you already have. That's the only way. Because even, you know what, even a difficult design, even a huge, let's say, sleeve, I mean, it will be on the basic form, on the basic block. There's no other way to put it on a body. That's it. But imagine in a fashion school, you need 2 years.
yes.
Minimum of how much panos? Once or twice a week to learn
Well,
the
at
patterns.
least,
At
and
least.
excuse me, I wanted to say that the most basic thing in pattern construction and sewing is trial and error, because there are not the perfect measurements. We need so many things. We need to do adjustments. Sometimes the fabric just doesn't want to work. So you have to throw it away or find a new way to create
We've done that.
something.
Yes.
Mika, you've seen my work. I told you how many times my jewelry broke because of the construction, and I needed to create them 10 times. One took me 10 times to be perfected.
True.
More
Yeah.
than a month. It's all trial and error. It's all trial and error. And
Yeah. And many times in fashion, they make you design things that look very, you know, in one shape. And then
yeah,
if
very
you're doing
crisp and
patterns,
very unified. Very crisp and unified, yes.
and yet what? If you work in theater, you have 8 different bodies. And in theater, if it's too slim, it's not good. If they're too big, it's not good. If it's too tall, I mean, you need something, and you have real people up there, and they're going to be moving. So it's an added thing for theater. And you know what? We will see this in the next lesson a bit. When we're showing you different patterns, different shapes, I don't know, skirts, sleeves, whatever, here you have to decide where you will put them, as we said in the theater lesson. I mean, why do you want your character to have a huge sleeve? Okay, this is not fashion. This is exactly. And what kind of fabric that's not very expensive will make a nice big sleeve that just sits there? This is trial and error. Yes. Yeah, we have to show them something really difficult we did here 5-6 years ago. And because we had some surreal collars, they were up to here, shoulders. The shoulders of the actors were up to here. So 50 centimeters up. So this is not science fiction. It had to be in theater. So we will show you the images, and then Maria can tell you she came up with a crazy idea. Okay, she never learned it. She kind of devised it in order for the actors to be able to look how I wanted and how they could move on stage. So information, you know, information, the more you try, the more you fail, Beckett. You fail better, you learn more. Experimenting, lots of it. So please, if you have any other concerns, questions,
I
you
have
can also, yes, you can also think. That's why we want you to look at the links and everything. So in 2 weeks, we can have a even better discussion about this. Yes, Panos, please.
well, what happens if you have created an unconventional costume made out of paper or plastic or any unconventional material that can't be washed in the laundry,
We've
and
done
you
that
need to
before.
clean it and maintain it? Because,
Yes.
for example, I've made something out of unconventional stuff, and most of the time when you try to fix them, it doesn't work.
Okay, look, paper. I saw it in a performance once, and it was a huge white thing with paper like 20 years ago. It was really destroyed every time. They didn't really care. It was like a long skirt. They left it. I wanted to do something like that, not similar in one performance. I'm very practical. What do? We make something that the actor can wear inside. Okay, so the costume is not on the actor. So they can have an inside mesophori, an inside in dress, they can wash somehow. So then what? On top you wear what? Paper plastic. So instead of making paper, I took the non-woven that they use in hospitals. It looks like paper, it's not paper. So I managed to use that. It looked like paper, but it was a bit stronger. And when I started making costumes for theater, I thought, oh, great, make huge Renaissance dresses, let's say, or jackets, really heavy. They were heavy. They had so much fabric. They smelled bad from the actors. We couldn't wash them. There's a special mixture with alcohol and the fabric softener, alcohol, and water. You put all this thing in a spray and you spray everywhere the costume. It smells much better. They do it in big theaters. So then I started that any costume I make, I started making it into parts. You might think that they're wearing a dress, let's say, in a performance.
That should be my next question, but
Pieces,
thank you, MIKA. Thank you,
MIKA. Inside little vests, inside long combinaison, how you say, the ones our grandmothers would wear. So you will wear something inside that the actors, you say to the actors, great, you wash your shirts, you wash your inside garments, and the outside we keep it. And by the end of the performance, we have to pay money to take it to the cleaners. So when you're making things that are quite big, think about it, because you might not want to actually wash it. If it's plastic, Pano, it's better. You can have a plastic fabric and wash it. We are a bit luckier, the other thing is, if you make costumes, that fabrics that are elastic, the traditional dressmakers, they hate them. But then if it's only on one side, then you're a bit lucky because it might fit better. But that's again trial and error. I mean, you need to try a bit. Maybe sometimes you can try something in a smaller, dimension. But my advice, make things in pieces. I mean, you can have a big skirt, you can have a big top, and then you say, oh, great. I mean, okay, the skirt doesn't work for some reason. You change the damn skirt. You don't change the whole thing. So I think this is something you have to. How much can I tell you? How much can I teach you?
Sorry.
Can I ask?
Yes, please.
So I heard that the best is to follow, to put the spray on all the costumes
There is
take out all the
Dragana,
protein
there is
aroma?
this spray you can put under the arms, especially inside. It's water, softener, fabric
Yes.
softener, and alcohol.
They say
Clear
vodka. The
alcohol.
best is vodka. I
The
listen. What
vodka,
was
I
it?
know, but this is better than vodka. They say that they do it in the ballet in Russia, that they spray with vodka because the smell goes out.
Okay, they don't have alcohol, they have vodka.
They have
instead of-
vodka. Maybe vodka is
They
cheaper.
don't
I
have
don't know.
raki or ouzo.
Yeah, but you know that in the expensive clothes in the 50s, we have this French word. This is my sleeve. Under here, we will make a sous-bras under my here, my hand. So you will make these little things that are like shoulder pads, but you make them, they have foam. You put it under your inside the costume. So most
Yes.
of the sweat goes there. Then you take it out, you wash it, you put it back on. Who does that? I don't know. Subra. Yeah, I know. But if you this Facebook, I have to find it for you. But once I read the most amazing thing, and I have an actress like that. That is that some people sweat too much and they are so hot that they cannot perform. And many times it happens with dancers if their costume is too tight or too big. And one costume designer, she said that inside the bodies of her dancers, she would have cooling pockets. So she put pockets and she put ice pads. So they could keep the temperature of the actress, dancer lower. My God. My God. I try my best with the, many times I tell you that if something is really large, it's lighter. So with the fabrics, maybe if something is really large, taffeta, which is synthetic and is light, maybe taffeta can help you to make something big and not heavy. But if you put, let's say, velvet, wool, they will be really hot. They will be really hot. It's not easy. But all this is from experience, nothing else. And the more practical mind, women are a bit more practical usually. But we need to try. And then I can tell you the joke, and we are done today. I told you, yes, great, put your actors to wear the costumes so they can feel, comfortable on stage. Yes, if it's something quite difficult, give them a piece to wear. But when you actually have your costumes, you will do this about 10 days before the performance. And you tell them, you know what? This is the costume. I've tried my best. I've done as much of practical work for you. Usually it's okay. And we have 10 days to have an opening night, okay? If you do it too early, you will have actors saying, oh, no, I'm not going to wear this. I'm not going to wear this. This is not practical. This is not the way it has to be. It's too long, too short, to this, to that. You don't move from your decision usually. You do not. And you talk to the director and he doesn't move also, or the woman director, whoever. So only if something is crazy, or if they're carrying, an accessory, I don't know, like a huge bag, or I cannot think of something now. But practice, and please have a look at the links, and you will see me next week, and you will see us together with Maria in 2 weeks. And please, any questions, anything else, you can send us an email. So from my part, thank you, Uyana. And anything else, please contact us. Pano, Faristume. Is your moving the home okay?
It's finished. Finally.
In
Yeah,
Athens?
yes,
I don't want to
haven't
think about that in Athens, actually.
Yeah, it's finished after 8 months. It's
But
finished.
you're still close?
No, I am at Ano Patricia,
Okay, you're close.
but it's close, yes.
Yeah,
But
you're
now
close.
I have
Okay.
a whole sewing room and it's much easier for me to work.
Much better. Yes. I will try and get you in parts in the summer. We'll have different Zooms. Okay, guys. So everybody, thank you.
Thank you very
We
much.
both thank you. We say good night.
Good
Bye
night.
bye.
Bye. Thank you and see you next week.
Good night.